सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। Okay. So last time, okay, we started with Aikyam. 74th, correct? तत्वं पदाभ्याम् अभिधीयमानयोः ब्रह्म आत्मनो शोधितयोः यत् इत्थम् ईत्थं श्रुत्वा तयोः तत्त्वमसि इति सम्यक् एकत्वम् एव प्रतिपाद्यते मुहुः। Okay. तत्वं पदाभ्याम् अभिधीयमानयोः ब्रह्मात्मनो शोधितयोर्यदीत्थं श्रुत्या तयोस्तत्त्वमसीति सम्यक् एकत्वमेव प्रतिपाद्यते मुहुः। श्रुत्याः तयोः तत्त्वमसीति सम्यक् एकत्वमेव प्रतिपाद्यते मुहुः। So the Vedas, the Shruti, very clearly Shrutyaha with the Vedas, Tayoho Tattvamasi Samyak. What? Brahma Atmanoho. So in Vivachanam, when it is given Brahma and Atma, these two together, if you view it from the Shruti Pramana perspective, it is again and again very clearly established. Ekattvameva pratipadyate muhuhu. Samyak, very crisply, very clearly established that they both are one. Again and again. Tattvam padabhyam abhidiyamanayoho brahmatmano shodhitayoho yadi itham. So, this tat and tvam padas, these two pada, if you look at it, which means here they are mentioning that if you look at the Lakshyartha of Tat and Tvam of these two padas, Abhidiyamana Anayoho, Abhidiyamanayoho, correct? So, Abhidiyamanayoho, it is denoted, although it is denoted as Brahma and Atman, okay, but Shodhitayoho, when it is deconditioned, when you eliminate all the conditions, when it is the conditions are removed, yat itham, that it is thus very clearly the Shrutis give pramana that Tattvamasi, Tat and Tvam, Asi, both are same. Ekatvam eva pratipadyate muhuhu, repeatedly. Is this clear, or you need some more clarity on this? This part is clear? Okay? Yes. Okay. We'll go to the next one now. Okay. Aikyam tayor lakshitayoho na vachyayoho nigadyate anyonya viruddha dharminoho. Okay. Aikyam tayoho lakshitayoho na वाच्ययोः निगद्यते अन्योन्य विरुद्ध dharminoho. Okay. Khadyota bhanvoho. Okay. Khadyota bhanvoho Rajabhrityayoho Kupamburashayoho Paramanu Mervoho. Okay. So now in the first line he establishes the unison very clearly, and then he gives an example of Vyavaharika examples which seemingly look different, but when you do Vichara from the Paramarthika, from the absolute method, you will see both are the same. Okay. So what does he say? Aikyam tayoho. Tayoho aikyam. Both of these have this ekatmata, aikyam, the unison, the identity. Tayoho means what? Brahma atmanoho. Okay. These two have that aikyam. Lakshitayoho. Only when you see the lakshyartha, the implied meaning, the absolute meaning. Natu vachyayoho. Not the literal or the empirical meaning, the way it is seen. Okay. Nigadyate anyonya viruddha dharminoho. Because when you look at them from a vachyartha, they have completely opposing qualities. Viruddha dharminaha. Okay. As we mentioned that Paramatma is Sarvajnaha, Jivatma is Alpajnaha. Viruddha dharminaha. Okay. Paramatma is Sarvagataha, Jivatma is Alpagataha. So, when you look at it, it looks seemingly opposite. There is no way that they can come closer also, and they are moving in that opposite direction. Viruddha dharminaha. And in spite of Viruddha dharminaha, that Aikyatvam is very clearly established. Okay, how? Only by the Lakshyartha, not the Vachyartha. Okay. Now he gives an example. Khadyota bhanvoho. Khadyota is, that firefly. And bhanu is the sun. So if you compare the sun and the firefly, they are extremely opposite in size, in terms of life, in terms of so many, it's extremely opposite. But essentially both are one. Okay. Then second example he gives is Rajabhrityayoho, between the king and the servant. Both of them are based on the norms of the society. One is the Raja, other is the Bhritya. But essentially both are Atma only. Then Kupa Amburashayoho. Kupa is a well. Amburashayoho is a big reservoir of water which is like a sea or an ocean or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So essentially both are water, but just by Rupa Guna they both seem to look different. But both are essentially H2O water only, nothing else. Is it clear? Then Paramanu Mervoho. If you take an atom and you compare a Meru Parvata, these two are extremely opposite in size. One is Sukshmat Sukshmataram, other is biggest of the biggest. Where is the comparison? But essentially Mrittikeva Satyam. That one essential, both are the same when it comes to that, what is it made up of? They are all one only, nothing else. Okay. So he says, this is established again and again by the Shruti Pramana, and if you remove that conditioning, both become essentially the same. So Vachyartha should not be considered Lakshyartha. Is it clear? And the same example or same query we have seen even in Tattvabodha. The student asks, Viruddha Dharminoho, how you can compare it to the same? Then he says there is a Vachyartha, there is a Lakshyartha. Don't go by the Vachyartha, go by the Lakshyartha, then they are essentially one. The same thing is mentioned here in detail. Okay. Next. Tayoho Viruddha Tayoho Virodha Ayam Upadi Kalpitaha Na Vastavaha. Tayoho Virodha Ayam Upadi Kalpitaha Na tu Vastavaha. Kaschit Upadihi Esha Ishasya Maya Mahadadi Karanam Jivasya Karyam Shrunu Panchakosham. So it has been just put into a proper phonetic way. Okay. Otherwise, if you look at the literal meaning, you will have to rephrase that words to get the right meaning. Says Tayoho Viruddha Ayam Upadhi Kalpitoho. So Ayam Upadhihi. Ayam means these upadhis. Upadhi means these conditionings, these coverings. Okay, these vehicles in which they are there. That Kalpita Yoho, we have superimposed. Upadhi Kalpita is we have superimposed the Upadhi on Tayoho, which are the absolutely the same thing. On that Viruddha Upadhi Kalpita we have done. We have superimposed two different things on one particular item and then we are saying it is two different ones. Are you able to get that? Okay. For example, he says, Na Vastavaha. He says, in absolute terms, they are not two different. Kaschit Upadi Eva Ishasya Maya Mahadadi Karanam. Okay. This Upadi Eshaha Ishasya Maya Mahadadi Karanam. So the Maya superimposition on Isha is the reason for it becoming Mahat or becoming extremely big. Jivasya Karyam Shrudu Panchakosham. Listen, what is that Upadhi for Jiva which is making it called Jiva and not Brahman? The Panchakosha. Okay, so one has got a superimposition of Panchakosha, one has got a microcosm of micro 5 sheets, the other has got the macro Panchabhutas or Mahat Eva Karyam. Are you able to get that? And if you remove these covering, essentially both Jiva and Brahman are nothing but Atma Brahma Aikyam, Tattvamasi Aham Brahma Asmi. Is it clear? So, not only with Pramanam it gets established, with logic it is getting established. And this only the Advaita Vedantins can do it. Because we, in our basic tenets, we have very clearly established and we have very clearly emphasized the three different states: Paramarthika, Vyavaharika and Pratibhasika. Whereas the rest of the people have got Vyavaharika, which is equal to Paramarthika, and Pratibhasika, which is Swapna. And hence, there is no Paramarthika state. We have extended the Swapna to the waking state and said that when you are out of the Swapna, you are in waking state. When you are out of the waking state, you are awakened. That is Paramarthika. And so far as you are going to look everything in Vyavaharika, this Aikyam is impossible. And hence, Dvaita and Vishishta Dvaita will have a big problem with the Aikyam, because they don't accept something called an absolute state. Because this absolute state, Brahman, cannot exist without Maya Kalpita. Parameshwara cannot exist without Maya Kalpita. Jiva cannot exist without the koshas. And hence these differences are always going to be there. The only difference is one says these are two different, the other one says that a part of that is only this. That's the only difference. But still two different are there. Jiva can never become Ishvara even as per Vishishtadvaita. You can only go to Paramapadam and do seva there, and you will continue to do seva to Bhagavan, and that is moksha. Always you will be into that, but you will still remain as you. You will never become Bhagavan. Bhagavan will never become you. Amsha of Bhagavan is in you. Dvaita is very clear. You can never go to Bhagavan. Bhagavan is totally a different thing. You are completely different. That Viruddha Dharma Akrantaha is what Dvaita very clearly establishes, because they believe in Pratyaksha Pramana and Anuvana Pramana. It will go by that Pramanas only. Very clear? Okay. Now, so Maya Shakti gives Ishvara. Nidra Shakti or Panchakoshas will give Jiva. Okay. Now, he says, Etau upadhi parajivayoho tayoho. Etau upadhi parajivayoho tayoho samyak nirase na paraha na jivaha rajyam narendrasya bhatasya svetakaha tayoho apohe na bhataha na raja. Okay. Etavupadi parajivayostayoho samyak nirase naparo na jivaha rajyannarendrasya bhatasya svetakaha tayorapohe na bhato na raja. So he says, as far as this upadhi, etau upadhi. Okay. Why etau? Etau is dvivachana. Correct? Etau upadhi is what? Two different upadhi. Two different upadhi means what? One upadhi for Brahman, other upadhi for Jiva. Maya for Brahman, Panchakosha for Jiva. Okay. Etau upadhi, the two upadhis, parajivayoho. Between para is Ishvara. Ishvara jivayoho. Okay. With Ishvara and Jiva, tayoho samyak nirase. When it is completely eliminated, that means deconditioned, same thing is being mentioned. Na paraha, na jivaha. Neither there is Ishvaraha nor there is Jivaha. Then who is it? Aham Brahma Asmi, there is only one. Same thing is being told from different perspective. First from Atma, Upadhi superimposing. Then from Upadhi, if you remove it, you have only one Atma. It's only told from two perspectives. Same thing is mentioned, there is no difference in that. Okay. So earlier what he gave an example, Viruddha Dharminoho, you have Bhanu and that firefly, and he had given 4 examples. Now he says, Tayoho samyak nirase na paraha na jivaha rajyam narendrasya bhatasya ketakaha. So he says, if you consider, he had given that example of Raja and Raja and this one na previous example का पहला वाले में दिया था
Raja and
Sevaka, correct? So Rajabhrityayoho, between the king and the servant, right? So he says, now he gives a logic. He says, Raja is a Raja so far as there is a Rajyam. The Rajyam becomes Narendrasya Upadhi. He is called a Narendra, he is called a Raja so far as there is a Rajyam. And Bhatasya Khetakaha, which is the shield. A servant or the person who is fighting, the shield so far as there, he is called a fighter, a warrior. So it is another Upadhi. You remove the Rajyam from the Raja, he is a human being. You remove the Ketaka from this person, he is also another human being. Is there a difference between both the human beings? No. So coming to a very, very elementary way that how you can remove the superimposition. For example, so far as I remove my fatherhood or my grandfatherhood or the managerhood, so far as I put that hood, I am different. If I remove the hood, I am the same person now. Are you able to get that? In different rules, we play different. In different occasions, we play different roles in different environment. So the environment is deciding I am A or B or C or D, but I am actually one. Same way, the Upadhi for the Ishwaraha is Maya, for the Jivaha is Panchakoshaha. Remove the Upadhi, both are the same. Is like the Raja is known as Raja because of the Rajyam. A Ketaka is known as a Ketaka because of the shield. Remove these two, then where is the difference between both of these? They both become one. Is it clear? Okay. So he is explaining the same thing again and again. That is why they are. It is re-emphasizing that. That is why these are Mananam related. So many a times all these examples are told again and again, so that you don't miss it out wrongly. Anyway, okay, right. So the two limiting conditions for Ishvara and Jivaha is completely eliminated. Then there is neither Paraha, neither Ishvaraha nor Jivaha. Same way, when the conditions of the Raja and the soldier, when they are removed out, there is neither a Raja nor a soldier. There is just a human being. Okay, right. Ocean wave analogy, correct? Comes here, same thing. Athataha adesha iti shrutihi swayam nishedati brahmani kalpitam dvayam shruti pramana अनुगृहीत बोधा तयोर निरासः करणीय एव. So now he says atah, now atha, ataha, athataha, atha, now, then. So why this atha? Normally athataha, it will come in most of the when it comes to all these sutras, it will start with athataha, athataha dharma jijñāsa, athataha brahma jijñāsa, atha yoga nushasanam. It starts with atha. Now, atha, that now has got a very big meaning.
Sir, this 77 is slightly different, sir, here. Tatastu tav lakshanaya.
Oh, okay. So it must be the 46th one or what, 246? No.
Sorry, 78. 78 is here, it is different.
Tatastu tato lakshana. Okay. In between guys, not there. Okay. Sorry. I was going by the next one. Okay. Tatastu tau lakshanaya sulakshyau tayoho अखंडैक रसत्व सिद्धे सिद्धये नालं जहित्या न तथा अजहित्या किंतु भयार्थम आत्मिक कथैव भव्यम भाव्यम सॉरी ततः ततः तु तौ लक्षणया सुलक्ष्यौ तयोः अखंड एकरसत्व सिद्धये एकरसत्व सिद्धये न अलम जहत्या न तथा अजहत्या किंतु उभयार्थात्मिकया एव भाव्यम ओके जहल लक्षणम अजहल लक्षणम has come now here. Okay. 1 minute. 247. Give me a second line this. This is a very technical subject. I don't know how to take it to your weight. Because Jahal Lakshanam, Ajahal Lakshanam and Ubhaya Lakshanam has to be first told what it is. No, I will skip this. I need to get this clarity. It is not very clear to me now. It is talking of a very technical subject, which is Jahal Lakshanam, Ajahal Lakshanam, Jaha Ajahal Lakshanam. Three things are being told in this. And it is a technical subject. I would not want to just tell you all superficially. We need to exactly understand that and then apply it to this example of Jiva Ishvara. Unless we do it that way, because if it was a technique used, then we could have used some other technique and got the things. But here he has very specifically mentioned Jahati, Ajahati is that particular stuff, you have to use it here. Which means if you have to use it, it is a part of Nyaya, you have to know it. If you have to know it, then only you know how to, it is like a formula. It's a logic. You understand the logic with examples, then apply it to this. And then you see that there is a problem. Then comes out the third solution which Adi Shankara brings out. Okay. So there is a technique, and I would want to first myself clarify it in detail and then only get back to you. I am not going to take that just superficially like this. Okay. Let me first understand, and then it's okay. It is not that it is not known, but to communicate it in a proper way so that I don't make a mistake. Because many of these techniques are used very in certain places. It is not something which you regularly use. So I just want to brush it up and get myself clear about it. Then I will tell you. Okay. I think this particular shloka I will leave, and anyways, then there is no meaning going ahead. Because let us, the other next one could be based on this also. Yeah, the next one, Sadeva Datto Yamitiha Chekita Viruddha. Again, it is based on the same Lakshanas. So if the 77th is not known, the 78th is not known, the 79th cannot be used. So here he is using Nyaya to establish it very clearly. So logic, Nyaya, Shruti, very many different ways he is establishing it. Be able to get that. So we'll continue this in the next class. I would want to myself learn it clearly and then be very thorough about it before telling you. Okay, right? We'll stop it here. There is no problem. It's always better to take a step back rather than trying to mess it up. Yeah, chalo. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaskar. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद सर.
धन्यवाद.